Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Candice. Today I have a heart opening flow for good posture. So this is the ultimate yoga flow to help fix poor postures. So I'd really recommend doing this at least once a week, if not perhaps even daily for a while, until you feel that you're getting a little stronger and stretching out those areas that are causing problems. So one of the main culprits of a poor posture or rounded spine is quite often due to a weak core, which doesn't only include the abdominal muscles but also the lower back and the hips. So we're going to focus on strengthening those today, as well as opening the heart, so stretching through the chest and the shoulders, which will obviously pull you down into that position just through the tightness and the tension that you're holding in those areas, as well as in the quads and the hip flexors. So we're going to be focusing on the core strengthening and then the opening of the heart, shoulder and hip quad stretching. So I really hope you enjoy. Feel free to use any blocks if you would like to use them, but I'm going to guide you through this class without any props, so that when you come to a point where this flow is nice and easy for you, then you know how to do it without your props. We're going to start off in a tabletop, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath your hips, beginning with your tummy sucked all the way back towards your spine. Let's take some cat-cows to warm up through this core part of the body. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, tuck the chin and the tailbone, arch. Inhale, look up. Exhale, arch. Inhale, up. Exhale, arch. Taking one more inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, arch. Come into a neutral tabletop, raising the right arm to the sky, look up, keep your hips where they are. And we're going to thread the needle, taking the right arm underneath the left. Taking a lovely stretch and a twist. You can keep your left hand planted on the ground, or you can place it on your bum or find an interlace into the right hip. Take the variations that work for you today. Follow your breath, keep it nice and deep. Plant your left hand on the ground, inhale, rise the right to the sky, look up. And now let's find a little flow, so taking the right back down and through. And then rise, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, come down. Inhale to rise. Exhale down. Taking one more inhale to rise. And exhale down. Coming back into our neutral tabletop, take it to the other side. Inhale, left arm to the sky, look up. And thread the needle, coming down onto the left shoulder. Keeping your right hand on the mat, placed on your bum, or interlaced into the left thigh. Choose your variation. Keep your breath deep. Release that right arm, place it down. Inhale to rise, look up. Taking your twist, exhale down. Taking 3 more together, inhale to rise. Exhale down. Inhale, rise. Exhale down. 1 more inhale. And exhale down. Coming into your neutral tabletop, walk your hands forward, further away from your body. We're going to draw the forehead down to the ground for our puppy pose. Hug your belly button back and keep your elbows lifted off the ground. You may need to move a little further forward so that your knees are still stacked with your hips. Taking some nice deep breaths here. Keep your core engaged. Be in this moment. Plant the palms of your hands down and slowly roll your spine all the way forwards so that you bring your hips down to the ground for a cobra pose. You can be just slightly lifted for a baby cobra or lift all the way up for a full cobra almost with straight arms. Find the variation that doesn't hurt your back. And we're going to take a couple of deep breaths. Gently squeeze your glutes. Pull your shoulder blades back behind you. And then come on down onto your forearms for our Sphinx pose, a nice gentle back bend. Press the tops of the feet into the mat, squeeze your glutes, and we're going to work on some back strengthening postures. So we're going to lift the right leg off the ground, hold it, squeeze that glute. Can be quite a challenge. If you need to rest, take a rest and then lower it down. Raise the left, taking a couple of deep breaths. Take your time, nice and slow. And lower, back to the right. Pull your shoulder blades back behind you. Keep your chest pressing forwards. And lower, take it to the left. We've got 1 more each side, you've got this. And lower, back to the right, lift. Try not to sink into your shoulders, press into your elbows, lifting your head higher. And lower, back to the left. And lower. Take your chest down to the ground. We're going to take our arms alongside the body, bend the legs, and lift your thighs off the ground, as well as your chest. This is an active bow pose, working the back body. And release. Take a grip of the outside edges of your feet. So bend your ankles close towards your bum. And we're going to kick into the hands, lifting the thighs and the chest off the ground. Stretching into the shoulders. Lift up as high as you possibly can. And then exhale down. Take a little rest. Just place your head onto your palms. Release all your muscles. Allow them to sink into the mat, taking a moment here. You can stay and rest or take another round with me. So we're going to bend the legs, lift the thighs as high up off the mat as you can, and then bring your arms alongside your body, lift the chest. This may not come up very high, this is an active bow, so you're not grabbing onto the ankles or onto the thighs. We're just allowing the back body to use its own strength. One more breath. And release, exhale down. Inhale, raise the chest, bend the legs, take a grip of the outside edges of your feet and kick up to the sky, lifting your chest and your thighs as high as you can. And very slowly release. Let's take a couple of deep breaths in our resting position, bringing our head to the palms, to the tops of the hands. Take some deep breaths, tuning back into the body. Lift your head. We're going to push ourselves back into our tabletop. And from our tabletop, we're going to raise this right leg, extend it out long behind you, and extend this left arm. We're going to draw elbow to knee. So exhale, arch the spine, elbow to knee. Hug your belly button back. Extend, exhale. Elbow to knee, then extend. Take your time, follow your breath. Exhale for your crunch. Inhale, extend. Taking 3 more. And 1 more. Extend and release. Turn your right toes to face out towards the side. Keep your right hand where it is. Raise your left hand up and over your head with your left leg extended out long behind you. Come on back down. Drop your belly, inhale, look up for your cow pose. And then turn that right leg out to the side. Extend the left leg, open up through the chest. Drop your head down. And back into your tabletop. Drop your belly, inhale, look up. Exhale, take an arch for your cat pose. Back to your neutral. We're going to extend our left leg this time and extend the right arm. We're going to take those knee to elbow. So take your time. We're going to exhale, knee to elbow, arch. Inhale, extend. Exhale, arch. Extend, take 3 more. And 1 more. extend. Come back into your tabletop. Open this left leg out to the side. Extend the right leg down the mat. And raise your right arm to the sky. Open your chest. Rest your head back. Coming back into that tabletop. Inhale, drop the belly for cow. And exhale, send it back into this chest opener. Extend the right leg. Open your heart. Back into your tabletop. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch, tuck the chin and the tailbone. Back into your neutral spine. We're going to walk our fingers a little further forward, untuck the toes and send your hips up and back for your downward facing dog. Have a look at your feet, make sure they're hip distance. Hug your belly button back, look between the legs. Lift up through the shoulders, pull your shoulder blades apart, and then maybe find some stillness. It's okay if your heels don't touch the ground, just keep your legs bent as you need them to be. The important thing is to try to send your belly button towards your thighs to get that delicious hamstring stretch. From here, look at your hands. Come up onto your tippy toes, draw your right knee to your chest, suck your belly button back, and we're going to step this right foot as far forward between our palms as we can into a runner's lunge. Find some movement, bending and straightening a little through the front leg, and then slowly drop that back knee down for our low lunge. Come on up, you can place your hands onto your front knee or onto your hips and just sink nice and low, tucking that tailbone, getting a stretch into the psoas muscle here on the left, which will help to release that lower back pressure and help to improve your posture. Especially if you sit all day, this muscle can become very tense and very contracted, and it's nice to lengthen it out. You can find a little bounce, whatever feels good. If you have the balance and the strength, we're going to raise the hands to the sky, maybe a baby back bend, look up to the sky. And release. Plant your hands shoulder distance apart, step back into a plank. Find a rock forwards and back in your plank, hugging the belly button back. And step it all the way back, downward facing dog. Couple of deep breaths here. Look between your hands, come up onto your tippy toes, draw this left knee towards your chest, hug your belly button back, roll forwards and step between your hands as best you can. Coming into your runner's lunge, finding some movement, maybe even slightly straightening the front leg as you move back, bending as you move forwards. It's okay if you can't get that leg straight, just keep it bent. And then from here we're going to very slowly draw the back knee to the ground for our low lunge. Bringing your hands to your front knee, open your chest to the sky, Tuck your tailbone and keep your hips facing forwards. Nice deep breath, stretching that psoas muscle. If you have the strength and stability, just raise your hands to the sky, look up. You can even place your head into your palms and look up to the sky for a little gentle back bend. Release. We're going to take our hands down to the mat, but we're going to walk this left foot out to the side of the mat. Have the heel facing slightly in and the toes facing out, so it's on the outside edge of your left hand. And then we're going to raise up off the back knee and step this back leg to the front of the mat, so that your feet are outside edges of your hands. Send your tailbone down for your yogi squat. I'm going to face you, so stay where you are. And in your yogi squat, we want to use our elbows to press our knees apart. Make sure you keep your spine nice and long. You can always close your eyes, get into the stretch. Now we're going to take a challenge here. We're going to take our time to help to strengthen these hip flexors. So release your hands. We're going to use the power of the legs to keep them in this position. Now we're going to take our right knee, draw it down towards the ground, and then nice and slowly raise the knee back into position. Let's take it over towards the left, drawing the left knee down to the ground, and then raise it. See if you can do it without using your hands, back into your yogi squat position. We're going to take 3 on each side. So release the hands, bring them to the center. Let's start with the right leg, draw it down. Try this challenge. Draw the left knee down and raise. That's 1. Right once again. And raise, take your time. Left once again. And raise, that's 2. Last one, right leg down, raise it up, left leg down, raise it up. Come back into a more restful yogi squat using your elbows. Lift up tall. Take some nice deep breaths here, hug your belly button back. Stay where you are. I'm going to come back to the side view for you. And from here, we're going to bring our bum down to the ground. So you may want to place your hands behind you. Bring your bum down. Place your feet hip distance apart. Take your hands a little further away from your bum. So maybe a few inches with the fingers facing towards your toes. Send your chest to the sky. Bend your elbows. And you may feel a lovely stretch down the fronts of the shoulders. If you're not feeling it, we can take it a step further. And we're going to lift our hips up to the sky for a reverse tabletop. If you're in reverse tabletop, squeeze your glutes, hug your belly button back. Taking a couple of deep breaths in the variation that works for your body. Very, very slowly, if you're in tabletop, release your bum down to the ground and then your neck. Walk your hands a little further towards your knees. Bring your knees together. Take a grip behind your thighs and lean back for our boat pose. Taking a little core to help with building that core strength for improved posture. So you can keep your hands behind your legs. You've got to keep your spine nice and long, whatever you choose. If you have the strength, take your hands away. And when you build more and more strength with this class or through your yoga flows, your consistency and dedication, you may be able to straighten your legs using the strength of your thighs, your hip flexors, and your core. So we're targeting 3 very powerful areas which are wonderful for improving posture. You can take a little break. Hug your knees towards your chest, press your chest forwards. Maybe rock from side to side. And we're going to take that again. So we're going to open our feet hip distance, taking our shoulder stretch. Walk your fingertips a few inches away from your bum. Fingers face your feet. And we're going to bend the elbow. Press your chest, look up to the sky. Chest must be pressed to the sky to keep your spine nice and long. If you want to take it a step further, send your hips all the way up for your reverse tabletop. Squeeze your glutes, hug your core back. There's no competition, so take the variation that works for you. And then very slowly, if you're in reverse tabletop, lower your bum to the ground first. And your neck comes up last. Bring your feet together. Start to lean backwards. Take a grip behind your knees. Coming into our boat pose, find your balance. Hug your belly button back. Keep your spine long. This is variation, beginner variation 1. You can let go for a more intermediate variation, keeping your knees bent, or you can take a more advanced variation by straightening the legs and maybe even the arms, or you can keep them alongside the legs. And release. Hug your knees towards your armpits. Press your chest through your thighs. Maybe find a little rock from side to side. We've got one more round. You've done a really good job. This is powerful. This is really tough. So well done for sticking with me. Coming back into our shoulder stretch. Feet hip distance. Hands a few inches away from the bum. Bend your elbows, press your chest to the sky. Or take it up into reverse tabletop. Rest your head back. Squeeze your glutes to lift you a little higher. Everybody keep your spine long and your belly button pressed back. Very slowly lower your bum to the ground if you're in reverse tabletop. And your neck comes up last. Bring your knees towards each other. Take a grip behind your knees. Lean back for the beginner variation of your boat pose. Try to roll your shoulders back and down. Keep your spine long. Intermediates. Feel free to let go of behind the thighs. Keep your knees nice and squeezed together, or you can challenge yourself by straightening and bending, or just keeping them straight. I'm proud of you. Well done, everybody. This is tough. One more deep breath. Release. We're going to release into a butterfly pose. So we want our heels to be touching, our knees to fall open. Those who have very tight hip flexors may need to press their chest forward with their hands behind their back. And just concentrate on pulling your knees down towards the ground. They may not get very far, but that's okay. If you're a little more flexible in the hips, you may want to find some movement, maybe roll from side to side. And those who would like to find stillness, you can become still. Let's all take 3 deep breaths together. So wherever we are, we're going to join each other for 3 long, slow breaths. Releasing into the hips. Letting go of tension on every exhale. Slowly come on up. Draw your knees towards each other. And we're going to roll all the way down onto our spine. Make sure your feet are around hip distance apart, and you can just about touch the heels. We're going to raise our hips up to the sky. Squeeze our shoulder blades back behind us for our bridge pose. Hug your core back. Holding this for 3 deep breaths. Squeeze your knees towards each other, keeping them in line with your hips. And now slowly roll your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to the mat. From here, hug your knees towards your armpits. Take a grip of the shins or the outside edges of your feet with your elbows on the inside edges of your knees for your happy baby. Pull your knees as far down as you can. Maybe find a rock from side to side if that feels good. Ending our class with a little relaxation now. Cooling down. Slowing the breath. Tuning in with how your body feels. How your mind feels. And slowly release your feet. We're going to take a roll, so just bring your legs up towards your face and rock yourself up into a seat and then roll back down. See if you can take a couple of rolls of the spine, coming up and all the way back, being a little bit playful. Taking one more. And all the way up, cross your legs. You can take a shavasana now, or you can join me for a seated stretch, followed by a 1-minute meditation together. So sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our left hand over to the left side of the mat. Inhale, rise the right over your head. Stay up tall on the hand, or come down to the forearm if you have this flexibility and the space. Pressing the chest towards the sky, take your right hand to cradle your head. Side body stretch, hug your belly back. Relax your facial muscles. And slowly release. Let's take it over to the other side. You can stay up on the hand or come down to the forearm. Just make sure you have the space to keep your breath nice and deep, tilting the chest and your face towards the sky. And slowly release, coming back to center. Change position of the legs, opposite foot on top or in front. We're going to extend the hands, lock the elbows. Draw the shoulders away from your ears, sit up tall. We're going to drop the head to the left, feeling that stretch, perhaps even into the right shoulder, maybe even all the way to the fingertips if you're particularly tight. And then finding some neck rolls, moving over towards the right. Pause when you get there. Feel through that left side stretch. And now find some rolls following the breath. Exhale as your chin comes down. Inhale over to each side. Take one more roll over to the opposite side, wherever you are. Come back to center with the eyes closed, raise the hands to the sky. Allow your face to follow and stretch. Exhale a sigh out of your mouth as you draw your hands down. Taking two more, inhale, rise. Exhale down. One more inhale to rise. Exhale down. And just take a moment to come into a comfortable seat. You can always change the position of the legs, taking the tops of the palms, the tops of the hands to the knees. Roll your shoulders back and down nice and tall through the spine. Gentle engagement of your core. Close off your eyes and let's take a moment for total silence together. Being here in this moment, letting go of stress and worry about the past or the future, and instead being here in this present moment, the only moment that truly exists. Bring your breath back to a natural rhythm. And let go of your thoughts. You can continue to meditate or end your class with me. With your eyes still closed, just wiggle your fingertips. If you're in Shavasana, wiggle your toes. Raise your hands, roll the wrists out. And then change direction. Take your hands to your heart center in prayer. Rub them together, create a warm friction. Place your palms over your eyes. Take a deep inhale. Exhale out the mouth. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly move your hands away from your eyes. You can bat your eyes open. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just such a pleasure and a joy to be able to create these classes for you. And I'd love to hear in the comments how this class has impacted you, especially if you do it on a more regular basis. I very much hope that it helps you improve your posture through a much more powerful core and a little more flexibility in those hips and the front body and the shoulders. Until our next class, have a beautiful day, have a beautiful week. Sending love and light. Namaste.